Kaieteur Radio.
It is 19 hours 20 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Hello there, namaste. Welcome to the Monday edition of the Lall Show, where we tell it as it is. Of course, we come here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 19 hours 20. As a reminder, this program is rebroadcast every day at 11 o'clock. This evening, Mr. Lall will make his presentation, after which we'll take your phone calls. Those telephone numbers, they are 226-745-324 or 622-2222, 624-6456. As you know, the protocol, when you call, please lower the volume of your device. If not, we will be forced to disconnect you immediately. With that said, sir, namaste. We have a packed studio this evening, but nevertheless, the floor is yours.
Namaste, Josh.
Namaste.
We have a very special friend from the States. He's a friend of a friend. He's visiting, and he decided to pay us a visit at the radio station. A few minutes ago, he was asked by a member staff if he does exercise. And the man said, he said when he look at those machines, he get tired. My friend, Tony, welcome to Guyana, bro.
Thank you.
And I like that answer you give me, man. When you look at the machines, them big heavy machines, you get tired. I can't help laughing, brother. But I'll tell you, all my life I love to exercise. Exercise keeps me going. Living in a country, doing newspaper business for the last 28 years, not an easy thing to do. You can go crazy if you don't exercise. So I try to exercise almost every day, on Monday to Friday. You give me a chance on Saturday and Sunday, I'll run in the gym and do 20, 30 minutes too. With that, I say namaste to all you wonderful people listening to me across the country and wherever you are. Wednesday, Joshua, I'm planning to come and sit here without saying anything. I just wanted to interact with you people. I want you guys to prepare all your questions and let's see how much I can answer. And this way we can have a one-on-one discussion as to where our leaders are taking this country. Every day that goes by, I am not feeling too healthy. Healthy in the sense of not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. It's bleak and it's dark and it's worrying. The International Transparency Body, EITI, is calling on the administration to release all the contracts signed by both governments in the extractive industry. Guyana had agreed to supply this international organization with this information on all the companies working in our gold, in our diamond, our timber, and in our bauxite sectors. On to now, they have been hiding that. That is being kept away from the Guyanese people. The government is refusing to hand over those informations. Why, my friend? Ms. Harris?
Corruption.
Why everything in this country, the leaders do got to be secret?
Corruption. We know the answer.
Just think about that and let's get going. Pakistan is following the footsteps of Sri Lanka at present. Them also in a big debt crisis, can't pay the humongous loans they took from everybody that was willing to lend them. Yes, they can't pay it back now. they concoct and create a budget for this year in which millions of their citizens are on the starvation line. Just to get sympathy from the people who lend them those monies. They're doing that. They did that budget to get sympathy, to have the lending institutions feel pity for them. Basically, they're looking for another payment plan. Yes. All they're doing there is delaying the disaster that's ahead for the entire Pakistan. That's what they're doing. Nothing else but that. Our leaders here, under both governments, have already created huge debts that we ain't even start paying. And every day that goes by, they're adding more billions to it. Yes, and this entire country is silent, my friend. Let me ask you guys this simple question. You struggling to put food on your table, and your big brother have strangers going into your farm, fetching out all the coconuts from it. And when you guys ask him what is going on, what is the deal he has with those people, he's stuttering, he's ducking and hiding from the question. What are you going to do with him, man? What would you do with him, Ms. Harris?
Kick him up, kick him out.
Yes.
Jail.
Well, that is the exact thing President Irfan Ali and the opposition leader Norton doing here with our bauxite, our gold, our diamond, and the other resources we have. Yes. The foreigners fetching out all of it. And when we ask our government to see the contracts they sign with them, they're gone deaf and dumb. I have been constantly talking about this situation, and it has been falling on duck back. Now the international organization, EITI, put out a report saying it's the third time they're asking to see the mining contracts, and they are getting nowhere. Why they don't want us to see it, Uncle? Auntie? Where are they hiding it? Which dark hole they push it in? These are the type of questions you guys have to ask them. If it wasn't for the EITI report that came out last week, the media would have never knew that we have more than 10 large-scale miners in our back dam. We would never know that. 10 we have. Large-scale miners, you know. I'm not talking about small and medium-scale miners. Large-scale we got in the back dam. And the size of the acreage or square miles these companies own in Guyana. Man, some of the islands given out, or some of the lands give out to these people is larger than some of the biggest islands. It's bigger than some of the Caribbean islands we have.
Yep.
Islands like Wakenham, Legwan, Hag Island. Yeah, that's the kind of land given out to these people. For instance, Ms. Harris, we have one named Rusal. Yes.
Like a hectare.
The Russian bauxite company owns 3 parts of Guyana with a total of 26 square miles of land.
Yeah. Sick.
Hag Island is Guyana's largest island. And what this Russian company has is larger than Hag Island. You hear that? Are they doing bauxite alone?
No.
This is the same Rusal uncle that say if they make no profit
10 years.
in 10 years.
Still mining.
Yes.
Still mining.
But still in Guyana, holding on to 26 square miles of our country. Over 10 years, these people are in this country, you know. Working every single day, you know. Shipping out bauxite every hour, you know. And telling this country they may make him profit. They may make him money. You know what I mean? You don't got nothing to get.
The government has 10%.
Yeah. Guyana Industrial Minerals Inc., a Chinese company extracting bauxite in Bonasika, right opposite the Hog Island. They were given a total acreage or area of 29.5 square miles. You hear that? And Hog Island is only 23 square miles. Almost 30 square miles these people were given. They get more lands than the citizens of Wakenham and Legwan put together, man. Them two islands. One I come from Wakenham. This is a lovely country, eh?
Yes.
You love this country, Tony?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta love this country, man.
If you're foreigner,
Starvation is ahead for your grand and grandchildren, uncle and auntie. That's where we are heading with these political clowns y'all have. Guyana Goldfield Inc. has 22, almost 23 square miles. That's double the size of Legwan. Yes, raking out our gold, our diamond, and all the rest of rich minerals in the Cayuni neighborhood or area. Then comes another name, North American Resources Inc., with just over half the size of my island, Wakenham. Fetching away we gold and diamond again. Troy Resources. This is an Australian company that was given a size, the size of the gold land, bigger than Hog Island. 23.6 square miles. You understand what's going on in this land, brother?
Guyanese can't get a house lot.
Yeah, man. You want to hear more?
yes.
Yeah, I'll give you more, man. One named Romanex, Guyana Exploration Limited. Their land size that they were given is bigger than Legwan, 17 square miles. Then we have another one named Ontario Cooperated. Gold and diamond again, with 13 square miles. Korea Mining holds a large-scale license for the extraction of gold and diamond. I think this is a local company. Them get a total of 5.7 square miles. Pereira Mining, I think this is a local with foreign partners. With foreign partners. They have half of Legwan for gold and diamond. I think this is the same, these are the same players, yes, that receive one of the Isle blocks. Kanji or Kaieteur? Kaieteur. The Kaieteur oil block. Man, are you see what's going on here? When they're not getting your gold and diamond fields in the square miles, they're getting your oil blocks for nothing. I am told that the Chinese at Matthews Ridge is not only there for your manganese, but they are fetching out enough gold too. Yeah, man. The EITI report, uncle, said that there are 62 other small and medium scale mining companies in Wibak Dam. And those 62 companies does contribute. You hear this, Miss Harris? Them does contribute the same amount what them 10 large scale miners contributing to the gold board. 62 small ones.
Are we getting none of the concessions?
These are local people.
Are we getting
Well, we local people, 62 of them,
getting no concessions?
that got no concession,
No duty.
no duty free, no nothing.
Yeah.
Them contribute 50.7% gold to the gold board. And the 10 large scale, most of them, 8 are foreigners, give the gold board 49 and something percent. You guys continue your silence, man. Untold hardships are ahead. Unimaginable sufferings await your future. Continue sleeping. You know, I need something to drink. Yeah. You know, I told you guys, don't worry about who will be offended by speaking or standing up for the truth. I told you guys that. Worry about who will be misled, deceived, and destroyed if you guys don't. We have to stand up as a body. We got to stand up as Guyanese and fight for our thing. Our leaders are giving away these things as if it belonged to their parents and not we. Guys, we got to stand up. We got to fight. We got to protest. Today the protest went on at the Square of Revolution and not many people turned up. Why? Prayers alone can't help. God said, or God help those who help themselves. Not true, Bernard?
Yes.
God said help. God said he helped those who help themselves. Let's move on, man. I'm getting tired with this. I talked about U.S. President Joe Biden Friday gone when he said Exxon made more money than God last year. And he's going after them to pay their fair share of taxes in the USA. In the USA, uncle. That's where the man says, I want to play him. I want to play him so you guys could hear what he said.
Why don't you tell them what Exxon's profits were this quarter? Exxon made more money than God this year. And by the way, nothing's changed. And they're not, by the way, one thing I want to say about the oil companies. They talk about how they have 9,000 permits to drill. They're not drilling. Why aren't they drilling? Because they make more money not producing more oil. The price goes up, number one. And number two, the reason they're not drilling is they're buying back their own stock, which should be taxed, quite frankly, buying back their own stock and making no new investments. So I always thought Republicans are for investment. Exxon, start investing, start paying your taxes.
Exxon, start investing, start paying your taxes. You heard him there, uncle and auntie. That was the President of the United States, Mr. Joe Biden. You heard him with your own ears there. He said 9,000 permits to drill in the USA. And they are not drilling. Y'all know why, uncle? If they drill in the United States, they got to pay more than 70% in royalties and taxes. In Guyana, they get it free. And Joe Biden said, them even buying back their own shares in their own companies, robbing the U.S. of more taxes. Because, uncle, when you buy shares, no money is passed. And you don't have no money in your hand. So you don't have to pay any taxes.
Exactly. Smart.
You don't have to pay any taxes.
There's a million ways to avoid paying taxes.
Yes.
And the oil companies know all of that.
Yes, they know everything. Yeah, you buy shares. When you buy shares here, you move it to this share, to that share. No money is in your hands. It's just paperwork.
No taxes.
Right. So the man know it. And John Hess spoke about that too last week when he was boasting about Guyana.
Yep.
Oh boy. Exxon, the man said, Exxon, start paying your taxes. While in Guyana, Lall have to take my government. Lall have to take my government to court for Exxon, pay their fair share of taxes. You believe this thing, Tony? I have to take my government to court to get Exxon to pay their fair share of taxes. Yeah. Uncle, if the US president telling an American company to pay their fair share of taxes, why Guyana president cannot tell the American company, Exxon, to pay their taxes, man? Can somebody help me there?
Corruption.
You think I go into search? You think I go into search for gold in America to pay 70% if I find any? When I don't find the treasure trove in Guyana, Miss Harris, and just keep and know that I only handing these clungs at 2%. No, man, I gotta be a fool. I gotta be an idiot. I got born in Hubu back dam. That's why the people is not gonna go and drill in America.
No.
Because they find it here and they're getting it for free.
We pay the taxes.
Yes, we paying the taxes too.
And
Yeah,
you
man.
have a receipt.
We our government.
This got to be, my friend, this got to be a bourgeois country called Guyana that we live in. Yes. I have to share this with y'all. One of the defense Exxon put up against me in court, they said, the people said that if they pay the taxes, they're going to go bankrupt. I swear to God, that's one of the defense the people put up. You hear me? In the court. It came out and it will come out down the road. If they have to pay taxes in Guyana, they will go bankrupt.
And why do we care? That's
No. But that's what these people, that's one thing they're fighting me. And here is the US telling the world that Exxon made more money than God Almighty. My court case coming up early, very soon, Uncle. I'll let you guys know the date in advance. I told you guys how President Biden is going to pass a new law to slap on an additional 50% tax on all the oil companies, although they just increased royalty rates in December, God. Another 50%, them going to Congress to slap on the oil companies. We have our leaders protecting and defending the lopsided Exxon contract. Man, these people defend this contract so much that Exxon partner boasting how these clungs we have as leaders will abide by the sanctity of the contract. Listen to him. How he boasting last week. How this man boasting last week, Uncle.
John Hess.
Yes, in the interview he had. In the interview the man had with this guy.
Guyana is a small country. It's the only English-speaking country in South America. Used to be a British colony. Parliamentary system. It's independent. Contract sanctity is honored. And it's run now by President Ali and Vice President Jagdeo, who was president for 10 years after a 5-year gap where a different party were running. So it's, a democratic system, peaceful transfer of power and all that. This government that is running the country is very pro-business, wants to accelerate investing in their oil resource so they can monetize it, so they can lift the country out of poverty. The country 2 years ago had a GDP per capita of Jordan. In the next 5 years, it'll have GDP per capita superior to Brazil or Mexico.
Wow. Contract sanctity is honored. That's what the man said, dear uncle. You heard him yourselves. John Hess. The man have faith in Guyana's leaders more than he got in God Almighty. Yeah, so confident. The man can brag and boast how safe and sound they are. With the black, brown, and purple peoples of Guyana and that contract, uncle. Yes. That's what the man is boasting and bragging about, our contract. Uncle, nothing will change. Guyana will make more money per capita in 5 years than Brazil and Mexico did. That's what the man said. You hear that? Guyana will make more money per capita in 5 years than Brazil and Mexico. That's what he said just now. You understand? Uncle, in simple language, this is what the man means. And let me explain it. Mexico at present is $5,000 a day every citizen living by. And Brazil, $6,000. That's where he boasting, taking every one of us as Guyanese. That's where he carrying us. Yes. And we must be content. We must be happy with that, Miss Harris. $5,000 and $6,000 a day. You hear that, man?
Yeah, because we black and brown.
Yes, because we black, we brown, and we purple.
That's what we deserve.
Exactly.
And Mexico is a hellhole.
And you-
Brazil is a hellhole.
Exactly. You see you see which country. No, but I just want you guys to hear which country this man is equating us with.
We have more oil than Norway. We should be better than Norway. Norway
Exactly.
has 50,000 US a year.
We are the third. And very soon we will become the leading country per capita, per citizen, uncle,
Yes.
where oil is concerned. And this man is boasting and telling his people how Guyana will be in 5 years in par with Mexico and Brazil. You see how disrespectful these white people are?
Yep.
Huh? With your own thing, my brother? Hmm? Are you understand what's going on in this land, man? It makes you sick. Makes you want to vomit sometimes when you listen to these people. The man said this government that is running this country is very pro-business. Want us to accelerate the oil production so they can monetize it and lift the country out of poverty. Man, oh boy. Oh yes. Monetize it and lift this country out of poverty. Every day Ashley Singh talking about borrowing money.
Yes.
Just last week they're borrowing 100 million US
Yes.
for build the East Bank public road.
Yes.
Today the newspaper said they're borrowing 44 million US. Yes. Yeah, this is how you're lifting a country out of poverty, John S.
By borrowing.
By borrowing. No, by borrowing. You're borrowing, paying interest rates on these loans. Man, let's move on, please. Hear how sweet our contract is for these oil gangsters. Uncle, we give away the entire 2022 budget, paying ExxonMobil and his partners taxes. And then turn around and running every day to CDB, IMF, World Bank to borrow loans to fix and patch roads and to buy flash drives for the children in the schools. You gotta love these political clowns. All of them, Miss Harris?
Yes.
Gotta love them, man.
Sorry for that.
Had we collected the taxes alone, that together with the 2022 budget money, Miss Harris, everybody's salary would have been double already. Pensioners would have doubled their little take they get into. Roads, hospitals, schools, bridges, all would have been doubled or fixed up to. If they were to fix one road in 2022, two roads could have been fixed. Man, the children in the school, all the children in the schools right across this country could have also been given a laptop with internet. Yes. And Guyana would have been on the road to Dubai. Yes, to Dubai rather than Mexico and Brazil, uncle. Taxes alone, you know, Miss Harris. Just the taxes alone. I ain't bring profit there, you know, man.
Not even the little puny royalty.
Yes.
Just the taxes.
I am not talking about changing the contractor. I'm just talking about the taxes alone.
The taxes that they will be.
Yes. And don't forget, Jagdeo, yes, got to correct and fix this tax situation before he granted approval for the Payara, the third project. But he did not. It could have been changed and we could have gotten our taxes, every cent, when he approved the fourth project. Again, he did not. That situation could have changed again, uncle, for the third time, when he had the Lisa 1 permit renewal in his hand. That clown did not use the trump card he had in his hand to say, Exxon, it is time you start paying the Guyanese people at least the taxes. Come on. And hold back the renewal. But again, this man didn't do that. The opposition leader, Aubrey Norton, could have opened his mouth and demanded that Jagdeo did that and much, much more for the starving people of this country. But he mouth too went up his. Yeah, right there. He opened it when the horse bolted out the stable. Then he talked. Yeah, man. Guyana gave away to Exxon and partners 2.3 billion in taxes for 2022. That is what we are set to give away, 2.3 billion American dollars this year. And now Ashley Singh running to the World Bank for $100 million. Wow. And like I said today, they announced another 44 million American dollars they're going to borrow for the education sector. Are you believe this thing? This thing is real. It's in today's newspaper, man. Read it. Somebody got to help me, man. Guyana going to borrow $100 million US to fix back the roads what the oil industry or the oil sector damaging, brother. Could you believe that? You believe this thing was happening? You live in the States, man. Florida. You understand business too. Guyana is set to receive in 2022. Hear this one. Listen to me carefully and understand what I tell you, man. We set to get less than 1 billion American dollar and has to pay 2.3 billion in taxes for the oil companies. How you like that, man?
Clap for your leaders.
Take the one and go back to Florida with it. That's what we got to do. You got to pay more than what you earn. This is the way to do business, eh? This is the way these cake shop gangsters running a country. Ali Norton and Jagdeo. Yeah. This tax madness, uncle. This insanity is what your leaders should call a special session of parliament. Even if it's a holiday, and get this crap changed. So that these children can put some biscuit in their lunch kits when they go to school, when the day come. But, it's the but, my friend. What are we hearing? Nothing. You want to hear more, Uncle? Because I plan to finish early tonight, you know. You want to hear how much more this tax insanity gets? Guyana agreed to give them a receipt saying that their taxes was paid here so they don't have to pay taxes in them country. How you like that one, man? We don't only agree to pay the taxes for them. Pay more than what we owe, what we earn. But we're giving them a receipt saying that their taxes was paid in Guyana. So they don't have to pay taxes in the US. They don't pay here. These cake shop clowns, yes, you have parading themselves as politicians. How much more are you guys going to sit back and take in this land, man? If we take 1 billion, the 1 billion we set to get this year and pay GRA, Guyana will still owe GRA $1.3 billion for Exxon and their partners. How you like that one, man? Because only one we said we getting. This is what you call business. This business or busyness, this is? Which one? Huh? 2023 profits, Uncle, will be used to pay off 2022 taxes for Exxon. So Guyana Oil, at the rate things going, we are not even getting half of the taxes we have to pay for the oil companies. How you like that one, man? Like how the oil price has gone up, Miss Harris, is more profits for the oil companies, which means more taxes Guyana will have to pay for them. Where are your leaders, man? They're wrong. These people are wrong in this country. They live in this country. Huh? John Hess, Exxon partner, said the 11 billion barrels of oil discovered so far is just the tip of the iceberg. 1 billion barrel, Uncle, at $100 barrel, Uncle, is 100 billion American dollars we talking about, Auntie. Just 1 billion. One at $100 barrel is 100 billion US dollars, Uncle. Guess what? 3 billion out of that can pay off all we debt. Since Janam Jug, we got $3 billion. We can't pay it. Only three. Not 100 billion, 3 can pay off all we debt. The whole of Sri Lanka debt that have 36 million population going through starvation now. Them in 52 billion debt. Can't pay. They can't pay at all. Them in trouble. That 100 billion is just from 1 billion barrel, Uncle. If we are to take the whole 11 billion barrels at $100, is 1,100 billion American dollars, not one. You hear that, my friend? 1,100 billion US. And Nigeria got 200 million population, and them got $108 billion debt. 1 billion barrel oil, yes, can pay off Nigeria debt. But them there with their knees, on the knees at the World Bank, begging for $8 billion for help them come out of the COVID. Uncle, 1,100 billion. And that is only the tip of the iceberg. Or as John Hess says, it's only the first innings we start in the Stabroek Block alone. Are you getting me there? That is only the first innings in the Stabroek Block alone, Uncle. A small portion of it too. Not the whole block, you know. Just a part of it. You guys see the kind of cash these people talking about that sits out there. Are you understand what's happening here? and then them have the nerve to tell the world that Guyana will be a little richer than Mexico and Brazil. How you like that one, man? Here the kind of wealth we have, and them a tell the world how we gonna be a little richer than Mexico and Brazil. Two poor ass country. Yeah, man. Barely living with $5,000 and $6,000 per person per day. I wanted to watch John Hess in his face and tell him his eyes pass every single Guyanese. But I have to change that to these corrupt cake shop clowns we have as leaders. We got to tell them that. We can't tell John Hess that. 1,100 billion American dollars. I wonder if Jack David Norton would ever get that money to pay the taxes on that. If you would ever get the money to pay the tax on that alone. These are the type of questions. These are the type of questions you guys have to ask Jack Deo. When he says y'all don't have questions for him. These are the kind of questions you guys got to ask him. He like to go run about the place, a bottom house, and meet people. And when he done, he asks them if y'all ain't got questions, forgive him. Hear him. Listen to him.
Anyone else who didn't meet with us before? Is there anything you want to raise with us? Is there anything else you wish to raise with me? Well then, thank you very much.
Hear him? Yeah, this is went to Borbies. And when he done, he asked the people them. Hear him back, man. He asking the people. Y'all ain't got no more question from me, man. Here. Here.
Is there anything anyone wants to say to me here? Anyone else who didn't meet with us before? Is there anything you want to raise with us? Is there anything else you wish to raise with me? Well then, thank you very much.
You guys heard him. Bara Jagdeo, the vice president. Is there anything anyone want to say to me? You know where he wants to go and ask people if they got anything to ask him. Like to go to Bottom House and the outskirts of Guyana and show off how he can answer questions. He should do the same thing when he hold press conferences, uncle. But he doesn't do that. He is ready to wrap up when the reporter is ready to ask questions. He is ready to run away. Yes. And say, I sit down long enough here. I can't take more questions. And as for Norton, the opposition leader, he just read from a statement. And you got to catch he while he walking out to question him. These are the cake shop leaders we have in Guyana. I'm ashamed to call them leaders. I made a mistake. I should have said the cake shop politicians we have. Hundreds of questions, uncle, are being asked on these programs. Every one of these programs. But they are not coming to answer them. They are not even using their scapegoats or clowns they walk around with to call in and try to answer these questions. No. Let me ask the Vice President just 3 simple questions, and you guys must follow up whenever y'all see him. Just in case he doesn't answer it, you guys follow up with it. Why he did not use the trump card he had in his hand when he renewed Lisa 1 permit, approved Payara and Yellowtail projects without getting ExxonMobil to pay their fair share of taxes. That's one of the questions I've asked him. And why there was no ring fencing provision. Why Guyana is not fully protected from an oil disaster. 3 simple questions, man. Simple but yet important, uncle and auntie. Your livelihood, future generations' livelihood is at stake with just that 3 simple question. Why he didn't use the leverage to get Exxon to pay their fair share of taxes. Why he didn't put in a ring fencing provision before renewing these or approving these projects. And why this country and the entire region does not covered by full insurance with the oil companies. 3 simple questions. Sri Lanka has become Cuba overnight with long lines all over for bread. And Sri Lanka doesn't have sanctions like Cuba. They are with loans taken by their corrupt leaders, including the present president, a man named Rajapaksa, in which they stole 3/4 of all the loans and bankrupt the country. I said, only yesterday, the Sri Lankans can only turn up in the line at the fuel station with a permit from the government to buy fuel, gasoline, Miss Harris, for 1 week for the motorcycle.
That's what I need.
Not a drop more they can buy. Yes. Not a drop more they can buy right now. They begged India last week for $48 million to help pay for the fuel.
Wow.
Now that they're giving, one time you go with a permit, forget for your motorcycle just for a week one time. Pakistan, like I said, had to trim their budget last week. So the IMF and the World Bank can see and work with them to ease the bank payments they have on the debts that country has. All because of the past and present corrupt leaders. Millions of their citizens facing starvation in the north. I saw it only last night. In the south of Pakistan. Google these things, uncle and auntie. They are there for the world to see. The internet is not for Facebook and YouTube alone. Ask your nephew or your nieces or your children to check it out for you. You will see it's there. They are pumping from Lisa 1 and 2 presently. And we would have 1.3 billion owed to GRA from what we receive, uncle. When they start pumping in 3 and 4, we would have about 6 billion every year and still be borrowing to run this country. I love it. And I love these cake shop clowns. You know, my friend, my Trini friend always say, Glenn, they have a million ways you can get robbed in the oil sector if you don't keep your head on. Checking and authorizing spendings by these oil gangsters is key to saving your pockets, uncle. Everything these people spend, they can hand you a bill 5 times the actual cost. And I am putting my neck on the chopping block, uncle. Take it off if that has not been happening from day one in our oil sector. Miss Harris? I mean it, chop me head off.
That's why they don't want to do Papa.
This is one way they swindle away your profits, uncle. Rentals and leases is another major area in which they take off your clothes and still have you smiling as if your underwear is on. Yeah, man. That's how sneaky they are. What have you heard from these cake shop leaders on these expenses, Miss Harris? I have said Trinidad and Suriname paying $12,000 a day for rent a supply boat. Guyana paying $55,000 US a day. Work or no work. That's just an example I give you guys. I give you guys a few examples of where, how and how much Guyana is being raped by these criminals. From the Exxon contract to we taxes, the gold, diamond, we bauxite, the rentals, leases, and supply boats with them helicopters. All them things you are getting robbed, Miss Harris. I want to leave you guys with one more way in which these people robbing this nation and our cake shop clowns. The cake shop clowns we have as politicians are silent. Should I or should I take a break? Relinquishment, uncle. I know all these information is a lot, you know. Relinquishment is a big word. But uncle, it simply means give back a portion of the area you give a man to work. Let's say you give a man a 5-acre land for plant rice. 5 years later, he got to give you back 1 acre. The same thing with gold. You give a man a 10-acre for work your gold. After 5 years, he must give you back 2 acres. That is 20%. In the oil industry, uncle, every oil block, no matter the size, the same standard applies. After 5 years, each one of them have to give back 20% of the block. When you get back your 20%, uncle, you can do whatever you want to do with it. You can keep it, or in the case of the oil blocks, you can put it on the international market where you can get some money. We lose out when these clowns give away them for free. Right, you can put it on the open market, uncle, when you get it, so we can auction, so we can make some money. Yes. The owners of the Kanuku oil block, Ms. Harris, you got to hear this one. This is very important. The owners of the Kanuku oil block give up their 20%. The Quarantine and the Demerara oil blocks, the owners, yes, same thing they did. They give up their 20%. The Kanji oil block give up their 20% too. But here this one, uncle and auntie, the Kaieteur. The Kaieteur oil block, them got to give back 25%. That's the arrangement. Not 20, 25%. And then we give back Guyana nothing until now. And they were supposed to hand us our 25% since February this year. But as of today, no word from these, what you call them, man? Sailors? Yeah, these Balahu sailors you have for leaders. We hear a word from them. Why Kaieteur owners not giving we our share back, Miss Harris? You know why?
They like it more than we like it. They like
Who are the
it more
owners?
than we like it.
The cake shop leaders? I'm just asking. I doubt whether I can get lawsuit for asking. I'm just asking. As for the Stabrook oil block, uncle, ExxonMobil, them got a different and special contract from all the rest of the oil blocks. Their contract says not 5 years. Them one got 7 years to hand back them 20%. While all the rest got 5 years. Exxon got 7 years to give back their 20%. And that begins in 2023. So we'll wait and see. Yeah? Come next year, we'll wait and see what plays out there.
They look very comfortable.
But we still got to keep our eyes. We carried that story yesterday in the newspaper. Kaieteur didn't give up their 20% yet. This is how the white world treats third world people, uncle. And let me explain why there is no second world. Because the gap between the rich white and the poor red, yellow, and pink of this world is so wide that it can never be bridged to have a second world. Yes. It's straight from the first world to third world. Yes. The white world is the first world, and there's no bridge there. You go straight to the third one. There's no gap.
Yep.
That's we, the non-whites of the world. That's where we are. This is where Guyana finds itself, being treated like third world people, especially with these cake shop clowns running this land. What they have done to Guyana, guys, you really believe they can do that to any first world country?
Not
Huh,
at
Miss Harris?
all. Not at all.
But this is not, it's not being done by the white man alone, Miss Harris.
Could you imagine this happening in Norway, in
Yes.
England, in America?
Exactly.
In, you know?
It
like,
cannot happen there.
it would never happen.
Yeah.
It would never happen.
But it's not being done by the white man alone. It's our brown, yellow, and purple leaders who's harboring this disrespect. And unless you people rise up, unless we take to the streets, unless we fight against these corrupt politicians, Guyana, 100 years from now, will still be a third world nation.
if we exist.
Oh, I'm so pity for you guys. I feel so sorry for you people. The Sultan of Brunei, a country of 450,000 people, just like Suriname, who was once the richest man on earth, walks around his country without a single bodyguard. You know why, uncle? Every citizen of that country got their fair share of wealth. Yes, the leader didn't thief it for himself. He shared it with his people. Here in Guyana, we have people going in nightclubs who are not even a minister and have 9 armed policemen watching his back. I went to a bar last week, and when I saw that, I shake my head in disgust. I even asked one of the policemen what is going on, and he shook his head and said, Glenn, it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
9 policemen. One of them, one even minister. I can call his name, but they can get the policemen for saying no, they weren't guarding him. His name end with a ton. You know the ton? Yeah. Walking around with 9 policemen. Let me end it tonight by telling you what a man named Leonard Palter said. I don't know how to save the world. I don't have the answers or the answer. I hold no secret knowledge of how to fix the mistakes of generations past and present. I only know that without honesty, compassion, and respect for all of Earth's inhabitants, none of us will survive, nor will we deserve to. I share those words with you because I feel the same when I look at the compassion, honesty, and respect these leaders have for the Guyanese people. Beautiful, lovely, honest respect and compassion they have. With that, I say namaste, Ms. Harris. The protest continues tomorrow, and I'll take your phone calls. I have my friend in the studio. You can take the mic there, sir, if you want to say anything, and let's get cracking. Let's get rolling.
I have a question. I'll be voicing the question for our friend in the studio. But before I get into the question, the number, if you wish to contact us, is 226-7453 or 226-7454, or you can ring us on WhatsApp on 622-2222. So 226-7453, 226-7454, and 622-2222. So, Mr. Lall, you mentioned the relinquishment clause. And we know that currently they're only operating in the Stabroek block. But how does the relinquishment clause apply to the blocks that they haven't started to operate in, that maybe they're still exploring? What happens there after?
No, relinquishment, the contract says after 5 years, whether you work or you don't work, you have to give it back.
Good.
You gotta give up 20%.
That's perfect. Well then, a lot of contracts were signed in 2015, not just with CNOC, Hess, and Exxon, right? Contracts were also signed with like CGX, X, Y, and Z. So time would be approaching for them to relinquish those blocks as well, right?
Yes, they're giving it up.
Why are we not hearing anything about that?
Well, the Vice President said that he will be putting them up for auction.
Okay.
And he has not been answering the questions as to why Kaieteur and the rest of them is not, or why they take so long. Some of these oil blocks they should have been.
They've already expired. Yeah, they should have
already
been given back. But that hasn't happened. I have a call here. Caller, good evening. Welcome. You're live. Okay, that person lost it. So over the next couple of years then, as we approach the relinquishment deadline for the blocks that haven't been used, they're supposed to relinquish chunks of them back to the government.
Yeah.
And then the government can auction it, sell it.
You can even give back. You can even offer the owner who have the oil blocks. They can buy back too. Yeah? But the best way to do it is put it on auction. That's how the world runs these type of businesses. They put it up in the international market.
You remember a few months back Trinidad was doing the same thing?
Yes, Trinidad threw a few up on there, up in the international market.
Yeah.
Suriname
did also.
did that too.
Yep.
Suriname auction oil free box revenue.
There is a question. I'm struggling to find the question. When I find it, I'll be back.
Yeah, Suriname did the auction of a few blocks the other day. That's where they got $50 or $30 million signing bonus on a block of barely 16 square kilometers, something like that.
Exactly.
But
And
you notice the government, they're quick to say sanctity of contract and sanctity of contract. But the sanctity of contract does not apply to relinquishment at ExxonMobil and the other they're supposed to do, you know. The 20% relinquishment after 5 years, that doesn't have sanctity of contract on that part. But all the rest of the contract have sanctity except that clause. When the benefits again these people.
But there's no sanctity. There's no sanctity of contract with the Kaieteur oil block. Kaieteur has to give back their 25%. They have to.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Lall. My question is, President Biden, does he have to abide by sanctity of contract as well? Because he just increased it by 50%.
You know, that's a beautiful question. All these oil contracts around the world is basically the same, you know. They have the same terms and conditions like Guyana, but only we leaders want us to believe that we have to stick by the sanctity of the contract. No. Joe Biden, the British, the Canadian, none of them want to hear anything about. And like Trinidad has the same contract like us. And Keith Rowley says no way. Keith Rowley says, I don't want to hear about sanctity of contract. Any contract that favors one side and one side only, it's not a contract. And he was able to put a team with British Petroleum team, 3 weeks, and was able to iron out a better deal for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
So any contract can change.
That's right.
There is no contract set in stone, my friend. Anybody who tell you that, just tell them to go somewhere where the sun doesn't shine.
Glenn, I have a question for you. How is it that these people could claim there is sanctity of contract when the government, if they are taking the taxes, would have to pay the country an additional $1.something billion a year? It's maybe getting negative $1.3 billion. That's what Guyana is getting, right? So how can these people try and defend somebody that this is indefensible? The world, IMF, the World Bank, every international institution, the IAEFA, everybody saying this thing is not do not approve any more contracts. Okay, if they're claiming they signed the contract there, why do you keep on approving new projects all the time without a better deal? This is madness.
That's a beautiful question you asked here. If you know, that's let me break down what you just said there, so the ordinary people can understand. Uncle, let me break down what he said there just now. If you know you have a bad contract in a coconut field, a large coconut field, and you have to approve more projects on the same field, further down into the field, would you approve these fields without getting back something of what you were robbed of?
Absolutely not.
Well, that's what the gentleman is talking about. Jagdeo keep approving and approving and approving and not getting anything of what he was robbed of. So you can see clearly this is not a game. I don't know if some of these people want to be richer than Putin
They want to be richer than God.
or richer than God Almighty. But this is not, you don't have to go to a university to understand that if you're robbed in this oil field and there's room, there's leverage, there's a trump card you have in your hand in which you can use to wring the people's hands without even interfering with the contract, uncle. Why they're not doing it? Why? And why you people are so silent, man? You know, it eats my soul when I have to hear Barra Jagdeo going to Borby's, sit down with that audience and ask, y'all don't have questions to him? Come on, man. Ask him. You know, it sick my soul to hear him talk about, what about a small sugarcane factory again? Come on, man. Don't carry yourself like that. Uncle and auntie, don't do that. This man should not, you guys should not even be talking about sugarcane in this land.
Exactly.
Sugarcane is dead. You can't match the world price. You can import sugar far cheaper than you can produce sugar. So why are you listening to these clowns running after sugar? They bring Dubai. Dubai came here a whole year ago and said how they're taking over the Skeleton plant. And they go plant sugar. What happened? I did a program, a special program, and tell you guys, it's not sugar they come here to plant. They come, they want your land, they come here with specific purpose. The oil. I told you guys, India, they're 4 hours away from Dubai. I fly from India to Dubai, 4 hours. And India producing sugar cheaper than the world. You think they left in India to go to come to Guyana to plant sugar, or they will go to India? This is the games these politicians playing with y'all, man. And y'all sitting down buying into these crap. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, you said the country not getting anything. We don't know what they are getting, because why else would you sell your country out? You sell your country because the country not getting nothing. I bet they're getting something.
Well, the speech that Mr. Hess gave, the speech that you played, to me, what that says is that he is so confident, based on what the politicians have told him, that he feels so emboldened that he can go in front of an audience and boast about what Guyana has and where he sees Guyana's developmental potential. Why should you compare a country as rich as us to somewhere like Brazil and Mexico? Respectfully, those are two hellholes. Why should we aspire to be anything like Mexico?
He's aspiring us there.
Exactly. Why? But why should he even be a part of that conversation to begin with?
That's why I told you, Ms. Harris, I wanted to look him in his
Exactly.
face and ask him.
He couldn't say those things to right-thinking Guyanese people who would stand up and challenge him. We
second.
don't want anything
Good
to do with
evening,
Mexico
sir.
or Brazil.
Mr. Glenn Lall,
You're live on the air.
I see you got my friend Tony Yakub in your program there tonight. Tony, how you doing, buddy? God bless. Anyway, Mr. Glenn Lall, quick question. Mr. Ramjitan said we got a good deal. I don't know if his name is Ramjitan or Ramjitan. I can't spell. I'm not a good English guy. But this man Ramjitan should be living in a rum bottle or a rum barrel. Because when he said these things, he needs to do his research. before he could say something like that. Guyanese are not stupid anymore. Based on technology,
You know-
you can Google and find out if we have a good deal or not.
Yep.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. I hear you. Anything else?
Yes. So in 1986, the ruling party of Trinidad was doing the same thing that these clowns are doing. Borrowing money and sharing out money to the people of Guyana, the same thing the Trinidadian ruling party was doing. When comes election, the ruling party only got 3 seats because the people understand that they were corrupted and they were trying to buy the people vote. The other side got 33 seats. The people of Guyana can Google that and find out if I'm telling lie or true. My next concern is Barajacte went to Canal and he claimed that we were getting 7 inches of rain per year. Now we're getting 7 inches per day. And he gonna use pump to pump the water out in the street, out of the country. Why is this clown not getting involved with sophisticated engineering people so they can determine how we can live it? Look, people living in Florida, which is a watery land, and they're pumping the water out in different directions and they're making that land dry. This clown is talking about old-fashioned way of keeping the country dry. This man has to go. This man is no good for Guyana. He's not talking about the global warming from the flaring and causing the rain. He's not talking anything about that. He's telling the people about bridges and 4-lane and what all of that gonna do. How is that gonna feed our people, Mr. Glenn Lall?
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
Oh,
All right.
thank you.
There.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, buddy. Bye.
Yep.
You know, the gentleman talk about Mr. Ramjatan. You know, sometimes I don't want to mention these people's names. You know,
Who's that, by the way? Who is he?
for me, these people have made themselves so insignificant.
Exactly.
When they speak, and the things that come out of their mouth, I am every day that goes by, I'm getting more and more, you know.
Guyana's political scene is run by a set of corpses, dead, decrepit corpses that refuse to get with the times, refuse to change their stupid colonial
They
slave
cannot change. They
mentality.
cannot
Because they're slaves.
They
Good evening, caller. Welcome to the program. You're live.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Show?
Yes, you are. He's listening.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just calling to let the public know something. I'm a loyal listener to the Glenn Lall Show. Very loyal listener to the Glenn Lall Show.
Turn down your radio a little bit. I can hear myself.
Okay, just a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Are you hearing me now?
Yeah, much better.
Yes. I'm a very loyal listener to the Glenn Lall Show. And I want to congratulate you guys on what you are doing. Because this program is really enlightening person of what is going on. Now, I can't call him Mr. Dara Jagdio had a public meeting at number 1 Canal on Friday. Which you were told that when we come to this meeting, we're going to get fertilizer, we're going to get this for us who do farming and so forth.
Yeah.
Now, when we got to this meeting, you know, all we keep hearing about from this meeting is opposition, 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 and opposition, and more opposition. We did not go to the meeting to hear about opposition.
Yep.
The opposition is not in power.
Yep.
You are in power. We need to know what you will do for we, the people who are suffering.
Yep.
That is what we want. We don't want to about opposition and opposition and opposition. Now when you finish with that, you tell us to come, you're going to go to at Crane. Now you come, you go at Crane, it's the same cycle. Go at Crane, you're going to get this fertilizer. Now when you go at Crane, it's the same cycle again. Opposition and opposition and opposition. And up to now, we haven't heard what we got to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me like this thing that one way you around the country and going on with is a political rally and not something to benefit the people who are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot take the road to the supermarket or the gas station. We cannot take all these big fancy things that they want to build to the supermarket. Every day, cost of living is going up. I'm a taxi driver.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this here. I am feeling the gas price right now.
Yes.
I am feeling it. We want to hear what is it you're going to do to cushion the high cost of living. We want to hear what is it you're going to do to benefit the people of this country. Not only your friends and your colleagues.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Jack them one question. And I know they are listening to this program. I know that the people are listening. And that's one question I want to ask them. How much is enough? How much is enough? Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much for your caller.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate your comments, definitely.
My friend,
Thank you.
Thank you.
My friend, what the vice president, well, I didn't see Norton gone out into the field yet, but what they're doing is pure trickery, pure trickery and fake dreams.
Living in the past.
They're selling.
Yep.
Living in the past.
Jack Day has been a king for these things.
Mm-hmm.
A king for these things. When he can shout down on several roads, I'm building this road for y'all, man, I'll jump up like, this irritates me, You jump up and say, yay, big clapping. Uncle and auntie, what do you think you elect these people for, man? You elect them to come smile with you? No, man. You elect them to do those things. Those are simple, basic things they were elected to fix, to correct.
Every government world does that.
Every government on earth does that.
That's the least.
But I just go treat them like if they really do something out, like if they spend them money or they sell out a house, what a living for better road for y'all. No, man. It's we own money to take there and thief out 3/4 before they build a one road for you.
Glenn, one other quick thing. John Hess is putting us to be like Mexico and Brazil. Well, I got news for you, Mr. John Hess. We Guyana deserve to live a life of better than Norway. Norwegian makes $50,000 a year. That's the average salary. We in Guyana should have much more than $50,000 a year. So don't tell us we're gonna be like Mexico and Brazil. We demand that we be better than Norway and better than the United States. So don't come with your crap to us here because we're not gonna take it. It's our wealth and we deserve it. Our country, our wealth, and we deserve it and we demand it. We will have it.
I hear you, Bernard, but John Hess is saying that your leaders is who giving it away, my friend.
When
You can't, like I said, I don't want to look John Hess in his face and tell him anything. It's not John Hess.
No.
It's your leaders.
Right.
It's Bharat Jagdev, Fanali, and Aubrey Norton.
Yes.
These are the people who are selling out the country.
Well, if you have sellout leaders, you have to kick them out.
Exactly. And the only way you can do that is get out into the streets.
Yeah.
Take to the streets. That's what we have to do. Hold 1 second. Good evening. You're live on the air. Hello? Yes. We have to. Because you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly. And instead of the politicians being the ones to lead this conversation about where Guyana's developmental path lies, what we will do as a nation and what they will do as leaders to get us there, you have the most greedy, wicked, one of the most evil companies in the world that's been around for years. You can go and look at ExxonMobil's track record. You can go and look at Hess's track record. These people have nothing good planned for anywhere that they operate. Everywhere they operate is death and destruction and debt. Debt and debt.
Everywhere they
Everywhere.
went, they leave those countries and the people of those nations worse off than when they went in first to meet the people. I've been saying this thing umpteen times on this radio, and you people not listening, not getting it. You guys running after these leaders when them tell you about we building road and we building coke and we building a school and hospital. Ask the people them about your oil wealth, man.
Exactly.
Ask them about your gold, your timber, and your bauxite resources. Stop talking about fertilizer, man. Wake up, man. Tell those farmers, stop doing this thing, man.
Listen to this.
Stop it.
Mr. Lall, I want to believe that some sinister move about both political parties in this country that we, the citizens, are not aware of. That there is some sinister move
1 second.
regarding both political
1
parties.
second. Hello? Hello?
Good night, Mr. Lall.
Yes, you're live. Let's get going.
Listen to me. Guyanese people, they ain't not clean. So I don't know when they are get clean. They're so backward. I listen to the vice president telling one set of lying all over the place. And people still are going to listen what this man got to tell them. How they're so dumb and dotish. They ain't not clean. All over the place and doing sheer dirty work, all kind of thing, and the people in still worship him like a god.
Can you hold a second?
Thank you, sir.
Can you hold a second? If the people doesn't understand what is going on, we got to see with them, you know, man. These are people who do not understand what is happening in this country, brother.
Yeah, but the
people like you and me have to go along and help them to understand. Right?
Salah, let me tell you something. Me go several villages, interior all over the place. Break it down to me friend them and I tell them. You know? But when you like somebody and you worship somebody, there is a type of people. Some of them are going to listen to this man. And this man, he don't got nothing properly for tell them. Just lie, basic lie and all that.
He has never spoken truth. Throughout my lifetime, I know him.
When you get spoke truth, you could never. When you get some of them right in this area with me there, them a worship this man. One area them a do inside the scheme, right? Where there is stronghold of them there. And how them a praise this man like when that and that or the God.
Things will change, my friend, but it will take some time. Things will change, but it will take some time. We'll have to do it slowly. We'll have to do it slowly.
Yes, but if we or most of the Guyanese don't hit the street, things cannot change. So we have to.
That's why we have the protest.
We just encourage a lot of me friends and man, even to the people who want to come and meet business. I just tell them, I say, me put out on truck and carry you. If I want, no, carry you. When are they getting on march?
Yeah, we'll bring them tomorrow. We have one on Square Revolution here tomorrow, 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. Bring them for a half hour and carry them back.
Yeah, well, I got to see what I'm going to do for the week, but not promise tomorrow.
All right.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, Ms. Harris, go ahead.
Walter Rodney. You want to say something with Walter Rodney?
Yes, Walter. Yes, today I'm told. Walter Rodney died 13 June 1980.
Yes.
That was a very long time.
42 years.
I
But-
think me and Walter Rodney went to the same school, you know.
But he was a fighter. He stood up. He stood up for what he believed in, and he stood up against the PNC, against Barnum, and lost his life.
Yeah, he
I
was
don't want to get
assassinated in 1980.
too much into that, but Bernard, all that when you're in a fight, when you're in a struggle for betterment for people, all these things happen.
Indeed.
That is something you have to put on the front burner and say, hey, are you willing to accept that? And if you're willing, then you go. If not, you get out the race. So Walter played his role. He bring about change. And we have to take on from him. We got to take on, we got to take the reign, what he left, and move on.
Indeed.
Yes,
Don't stop the activism. Going back to the comments, somebody was saying, what can we do? They're saying we should strike. What do you think? Would you support a strike?
I would love to strike tomorrow morning, but you would get the people to strike.
We should plan it and see how many people strike. If everyone decided they were going to lay down their arms, everyone, let's say 95% of the workers of this country said, you know what, we're going to lay down our arms for 1 hour, it would make a big difference, not just in what would happen after that, but in people's mentality and in them understanding that the power that they have, no one else has. Nobody else, none of these international bodies, no IMF, no World Bank is going to come and save Guyanese. Guyanese have to save Guyanese. And that's what people need to understand.
Exactly. But our Guyanese got to save Guyanese, brother. It's like your family, you know? Yes, your parents got to defend and stand up for the children of the home or the family of the home. Your parents. You would hardly find a neighbor running coming to help. You got to decide to fight your battle in your own home. And this is what is going on here.
Glenn, thank you very much, and I'm honored to be here. I want to add something to what you've been saying. I don't think Guyana wants to be a Nigeria. I don't think Guyana wants to be an Angola. I don't think Guyana wants to be any other country that's
Senegal.
That have had it and lost it. A voice like yours and this platform adds value to Guyanese because the other places didn't have this platform. And I'm the first one to tell you, thank you very much for having this platform so everyone could hear a voice and see things differently. Thank you very much.
Welcome. You know, thank you, Tony. Tony, you have Senegal, all those countries, Angola, all over. You know, they had so much of wealth, and look where they are. Yes. Good evening, sir. You're live.
Hi, good evening, everybody from Yakabra. Mr. Lall mentioned about a guy named Mr. Walter Rodney. Respect you.
Respect you, yeah.
I wonder about the people that we left behind, like Mr. Report with Narayan, Karen D'Souza and them. One of them, you don't even hear the voice anymore concerning poor people, you know. What was it, you know? What I was standing for all the time. Right? That's my contribution. Good night, sir.
Thank you. Good night. Good night. I don't think that some of them are wrong. It's 42 years now, you know. So I don't think. And if they're wrong, maybe they're not in good health or to take on the fight that they took on 42 years ago.
Yeah, they did their time. They did their fight at their time. Now it's for us, the Guyanese young people nowadays, to take up the fight. This is our fight now. You do not get anything without a struggle. Nothing is accomplished without struggle. And if you have to struggle against these clowns, you have for leaders and ExxonMobil and Hess, we will struggle against all of them because in the end we will win. Because we are on the right side of history and this is what we deserve. It's our stuff. It's our wealth. It's our country, our wealth, and we deserve it. We deserve a better life because we are born here. This is our country, our natural resources, and we are going to fight for it.
Tony, I'm happy that you brought up what took place in some of these African countries, African and Asian countries. All of them, not one of them has turned out to be successful.
Yep.
All of them are starving at present. And it was because of the deals they had and the corrupt leaders they had.
Exactly.
The deal we have now, as I sit here talking to you people, is 50 times worse than any one of those oil contracts in Africa. What we have now, okay, is 50 times worse. So look, I tell you this so you can understand where Africa is and where Guyana will be 50 years from now. At least they're living with $1 a day. We would be living with nothing a day. We would be making mud pie and mud cake like the Haitians, and that's what our children will have to live with, right? And don't think these oil people will be by your side. No.
They will just now, they'll start exploiting the children. They will look just like the Chinese have the little Congolese children climbing into those underground mines to look for gold with their little hands. That's what will become of the Guyanese children. That's the plan. So when they're done with the right thinking members of society, the grown-ups, they're coming for your children. This is why it's important for everybody who has a child, who have grandchildren, to stand up and fight for your children. This, even if you don't care about your future, care about your children's future. With the position that we're in, we are in a position of incredible wealth. We have the wealth of experience on our side. Looking at everything that has happened in Asia, that's happened in Africa over the last more than 100 years. Looking at everything that's happened in those countries, we have a wealth of experience that we should be drawing on. We shouldn't be starting from scratch because we've already seen the pitfalls and we should have been planning to avoid them. But what these politicians are doing is leading us down every dark turn, every wrong turn, and making every poor decision that will undoubtedly put this country on a path that it would never recover from.
Miss Harris, Uncle and Auntie, I want to end by telling you people this. These leaders we have in this country knows every single thing those countries went through. Knows every one of the leaders what they did and how they did it. We discovered oil since 2015. They made the announcement. And every day that goes by in this land, you believe that Guyana does not exist with oil from these people's mouth. Not a single word you hear from these people's mouths. You hear the international world is talking every single day about Guyana and the wealth we have here, the oil we have here. And you not hear a single word from any one of the leaders in this country. Uncle, it is time. It is time you guys look them in their faces and call them out. Shout at them. Stop throwing mala around them neck. They are selling you out, Uncle. And they are selling you out for their own selfish and greedy needs. With that, I say namaste. Ms. Saris, you want to say anything?
No, namaste. The protest continues tomorrow at the Square of the Revolution from 10 to 12. Stand up and speak out.